Alright, nerds, as mentioned in previous video, if you didn't watch that, that's all of my comments on the draft, who did well, who did not. Now just back to our normal, which in week 1 I got nothing to say about the previous week, so I'm just going to go straight into my predictions for the games. And if you remember last year, and basically every other year, I'm more right than I am wrong. So keep that in mind when I don't pick you. You stink. Let's get into it. So I'm starting with Drew Wagner versus Nick, and I look down through, and I think Nick's going to win. I just think his team is decently solid as I scroll down through. Upper half of the people who drafted well, and I really think that Barkley will have a good game, and Allen is solid when he's healthy, and he's currently healthy. So he's good. I don't believe in David Johnson, and then I especially don't believe in him anymore because he plays for the Cardinals. So moving on, also Dak Prescott, I'm not that impressed. Next, John Davis versus Tyler. I already mentioned that I like John's team, and I do think he's going to win off the back. I think Breeze, even though the Saints do kind of stink the first 2 weeks of the season, I think Breeze will play decently well. And I do like Connor Ingram. Hill is playing with that big money. I think he's going to do great. And then Montgomery didn't even show up for Tyler. I'm not sure how I feel about Cam Newton, and he already laid an egg in Burton. Next, we have Ben Baker versus Chris Spring. And Baker was on my, I don't know about your team list. And mainly it's because of Mahomes. Mahomes is great. I don't think he's super great over all the other quarterbacks. So it kind of looks like he didn't get a first-round pick. I'm not a huge fan of Fournette and Henry. And so they got to prove it to me. On the other side, I do like Deshaun Watson. Eckler is decent, but I really thought Adams would have a good game. He didn't, but as I mentioned, I really like Juju, so I think that's the difference. And Chris is going to win. Then we have Jim versus Heiser. Both of you were in my, I'm not huge, but Jim, ESPN loved your draft, so we'll see. I do like Goff. I think he should have been rated higher than he was. And Kamara is a beast. He's one of those guys when I watched last year, I thought, man, he is like a cheat code in the game of football. But yeah, there's not a lot of excitement. I think you have solid. You proved me wrong by a bunch of guys who scored 12 points. On the other side, I do think Baker will have a pretty decent game, and Michael Thomas will have a great one. I don't know about this Hilton without luck. I've never been a Devontae Freeman fan, and Philip Lindsay maybe. So that's why I lean more heavily. I really like the upside of Jim's team better, and he has less low side. My game, myself versus Aaron, and Aaron already had a great game from Aaron Jones, which I could have predicted he wouldn't be that good because no Green Bay running back is ever that good. I told you I don't think Big Ben's going to be great, plus he's playing at New England. Too many things for you to overcome, especially when McCaffrey will have a good game and Thielen and Cooper Kupp will both be solid and get a bunch of catches. And yeah, I think the Browns D is going to destroy Tennessee. Call it what it is. Now to my game of the week, which is Ben Black versus Andy. Both teams that I think are top 5 so far in our league without any games played. And Allen Robinson already had a pretty decent game for Ben. Kind of a little bit above a decent game that I expect him to have a lot. I do like Duke Johnson. I do like the Ravens at Miami for sure. I think Bell has something to prove. He'll play decent. Mixon is solid. Lamar Jackson, I'm going to give him 6 weeks of being a good quarterback before I think he downtrends and everyone figures him out. On the other side, I would have thought Rodgers did better than that, but I do like Zeke. I actually really do like Sonny Michel. I think he's going to have a good year. And Mike Evans is just solid. And I already mentioned my pick of Tyrell Williams being a good one. And that was like your last pick in the draft. So in this, I'm going to go ahead and give the nod to Ben, mainly because Aaron Rodgers did not play well so far. And I think Lamar in the first 6 weeks is going to be good. That's it for this week. Get out of here. Enjoy football. It's finally back. And always fun to be with you guys. See ya.